Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Maybe you wonder why I'm a little more dressed up than my usual t-shirt when I'm doing these videos. Well, this evening I gave a talk at a UC Berkeley School Psychology General Assembly dinner, and I thought you might benefit from hearing the essence of what I said. I was asked to address 5 questions. First was, what decision did you make in graduate school that made the biggest difference to your career? My answer was something like this. When I entered the program, I was assigned an advisor. I just wasn't much interested in his research, something called paired associate learning. I was scared to be audacious, but I asked Michael Scriven, a top expert on program evaluation of innovation, if he would be my advisor, and he agreed to. That has made a big difference. My specializing in evaluation helped me get a book contract to write a book called How to Get an Ivy League Education at a State University, which consists of profiles on how to make the most of each of 115 public universities. In turn, that yielded invitations from a number of those colleges to speak or consult, and there I got to meet privately with the university presidents. I learned that it's often lonely at the top, and, at least in part because of my school psychology training in the art of consultation, I ended up being a career coach to 15 of them, and that's how I got started in my career as a career counselor. And from there, I got to speak on radio programs, including my own, which built my career counseling practice, and resulted in my becoming a columnist on career issues in the San Francisco Chronicle and then nationally. So that decision to switch advisors and thereby specializations was crucial. The next question they asked me was, describe 2 or 3 highlights of your career and how they arose. Number 1 has to be my clients. I am honored to now having guided 6,000 clients with their career issues, and it arose from what I mentioned earlier, that's change of advisor and specializing in evaluation. I also had a long-time radio show on KLW. That was another highlight. It was an NPR station in San Francisco. I got that in an unusual way, kind of fun. My daughter, when she was a teenager, had a friend, her name was Anna Osofsky, to the house, and they said they were bored. Well, I had just gotten a dubbing tape deck. It automatically copies your recording onto a second cassette. Well, they wanted to talk about birth orders, so we recorded it, and it came out okay. So I decided, why waste it? So I sent it to KQED and KELW, 2 public radio stations in San Francisco, and I was offered to host a show. It was started as School and Career Talk, and later work with Marty Nemko. My third major career highlight has got to be my 32 books, which include, for example, Careers for Dummies, those yellow and black dummies books, How to Do Life, and Thought Experiments. How did I get to do those? Well, in trying to get my first book published, I queried a bunch of agents, and they all ghosted me except for one, who sold it to Random House's 10-speed press. The next question they asked me to address is, how have personal relationships with faculty and or students in the program continued to serve and support you after graduation? Well, before graduate school, I'd never really gotten to know a gay guy, but in grad school I met Alan Gold, and we became and continue, these many years, to be good friends. He also affected my career by my seeing he was better suited than I am to be a school psychologist. Apart from being very bright, he shows a lot of empathy for troubled kids, and he establishes trust very quickly. I'm not as good at those. That taught me that I'd be wise to choose a career that played to my strengths and my values. Another person a faculty member who was important to me is the aforementioned Michael Scriven. We remained good friends until he died recently at age 95. The next question they asked me to address is, what advice would you give your former self or current graduate students? As I alluded to earlier, I think it's important to look for projects and a career that use strengths you enjoy using, and with the people you enjoy using, whether it be mentoring at-risk youth, writing about gifted kids, whatever. And the final question they asked me to address is, where do you see the field of school psychology heading? Short term, I see AI like ChatGPT becoming an aid to school psychologists, maybe doing research on a student situation, or even writing first drafts of IEPs, those are individualized education plans. And as mental health apps such as Sanvello, which has a 4.8 average user rating across 23,000 reviews, as such apps continue to improve, they can at minimum be a way to improve access to mental health services. People who aren't going to spend $150 an hour to go traipse into an office, or even Zoom. I can envision school psychologists teaching kids and parents the potentials and pitfalls of such apps. I was honored to be asked to speak at that dinner tonight, and I hope that at least something in the summary I've just offered you will benefit you or someone you care about. In any event, that was a summary of my after-dinner speech tonight at UC Berkeley. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel, and certainly would welcome you taking a look at any of my 32 books. Probably the one that's most relevant to this might be, I don't know, work stories, starting out stories, how to do life. Anyway, they're all 32 are on Amazon. Just go there, search on my name, Marty Nemko, Nemko, and you will find more than you can stomach. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.